Okay. All right. Hey, welcome back to the Voice Box Incredible Film Club. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday because this time around we are now looking into the James Bond series. And it took us a minute to figure out which James Bond to look at. And seeing as a group concession that we picked the right one. James Bond, the first appearance of Roger Moore, and Live and Let Die. And this is a classic. One, because it's the first time a popular movie character, especially in the movie series, changed. Because I mean, it was successfully played by, what's his name, Sean Connery. George Lazenby actually stepped in to do On Her Majesty's Secret Service. And then Roger Moore came through with this one, to live and die, not to live and die, live and let die. I always get that confused because I keep thinking about to live and die in LA, live and let die.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. But what's great about this is that Roger Moore was no stranger to the role because he was famous for two Secret Spies TV shows. The Saint, where he had the halo over his head as Simon Templar, and The Persuaders with Tony Curtis as a double act and everything. So when they probably was trying to say to Sean Connery, hey, it's not just you who could do this. We could get this guy. And they did. And he brought his same Simon Templar cheekiness to the role. And it's just excellent because if you're a fan of the series, it's a way of being Bond, and Sean Connery was always kind of like stiff in a way of his, manhandling persona. But, Roger Moore had that cheekiness. But the stiffness was also pretty interesting because, this was, Bond was all over Europe. His adventures always took him all over Europe or different places because he's a British secret agent. But this particular case took him to America. So he went not only to New York, but he also had to go to New Orleans. And then he had to go to a fictional Haitian island called San Monique and everything. And so I'm not sure what year this was. I think it was 76 or something. Somebody wants to.
73.
73. Thank you. Thank you. And everything. So the movie, as Bond always has his delicious femme fatales or, feminine heroines in the movie. He had two in this one. One was Zach's favorite, Jane Seymour, as Solitaire, and she kind of like narrates the opening in a way of kind of like saying, he's going here, he's coming there, and everything like that. But then also we get the addition of Rosie Carver, played by the lovely Gloria Hendry. Now, her part was small, but what's important about it is that I don't know if you guys are familiar, but she was a very popular blaxploitation female actress. So she was a star in her own right, mainly in like blaxploitation films set in Harlem, and everything like that. She was also a kung fu fighter and everything. So I'm pretty sure that the fan base, it was a nod to the fan base because this film had a lot of black people in it. It was a huge amount of black people in this film and everything. And so Gloria Hendry being in it was cool, even though her part was short lived. The bad guy in this movie was Yaphet Kotto. Now, Yaphet Kotto at this time in '73, I think he already had the film Across from 110th Street with Miguel Ferrer and everything, which was a very powerful movie. I actually lived across from 110th Street, around this time and everything. But he was another, like big actor crossing over into what they would consider like mainstream films. For us who are of our older generation might remember Yaphet Kotto later on when he was the leading role in Homicide, Life on the Street, a big TV series that kind of like was a precursor to shows like The Wire and stuff like that. So you know, he was the bad guy. So this is not, I mean, in a I guess let's just call them mainstream films. Black villains weren't really a common trope. You know what I mean? You would have to have a black villain more than likely, like say in a urban or black exploitation film. But also a lot of times the villains were played by the man. You know, so this was a really good to see a black actor playing a black villain. Now, this kind of like felt a little over the top rewatching this because it was like it's like this was like Wakanda, right? You know, this is kind of like the first Black Panther where it's like these guys were super smart. They had all kind of devices. They were organized, right? They had a whole team of people. So it's like when Bond is going through Harlem, well, from the airport to Harlem and everything like that. You know, he's being followed by various different, you know, cars. You know, they're connected. They're talking on like mics and phones and stuff like that. So you're like, oh my God, this is really a well organized machine here. And actually, in one of his first things where he's trying to track down this car, there's a black guy. He just seemed like another black guy following him. And it turns out that this happened to be a black CIA at Struthers working for his boy Felix Leiter. So that was a good like reveal there for us. So not all the black guys were bad, you know what I mean, in that aspect. But I gotta say, you know, this whole thing, like in New Orleans, where they had the band, the funeral band, which is a common trope of New Orleans, like if a person dies and everything, they have a big marching band type of funeral. So like when the first agent is watching this funeral, and the guy just comes along looking like he's part of Martin Luther King's, you know, personal circle or stuff like that. You know, kindly old man just walks up to him and stabs him with a knife. He's like, what's going on? This was crazy. But my favorite part about that was when the band comes along with a coffin and they put the coffin over the body, right? Nobody just moves it or says it around, and it just automatically lifts up the body and they just keep walking along. And so now they got the body. Then what happens is the band just changes its tune and just moves on. I just love that, you know. And what was great about it was because it was so meticulously shot, when it happens again, when Bond and Leiter show up, you know, we know what's going to happen. We see the band and we're like, oh, man. Somebody's going to get it. You know what I mean? It was like, and you didn't need it because you watched it so meticulously. You knew what was going to happen. It was fantastic. Now, because all of these machinations that I'm talking about, it gets a little bit ridiculous because like you don't really see it like to this extent in other films, but it was kind of like I guess they were like saying, look, we're gonna have black people in this movie, they're gonna be the bad guys, you know, they're not gonna be just your common drug dealers. Even though in the end it turns out that it was about drugs. Right? It was too much, you know, because it's like none of this makes sense, right? What we're watching here, but it was cool and it was clever to watch Bond just kind of navigate through all of this, and he just smoothly just walked through everything. I think this cemented more for Bond for the next 10 years, you know, because it was just kind of like he was just so cool in every situation. My favorite bit is when he's in a bar, right, for the first time. And he's like, "Hey, I got some money for some information." And before he finishes the sentence, the table turns around, and he's in another room and stuff. They go, "Yo, keep it easy, bro. Mr. Baby's coming here." You know, it was just like they should just shoot Bond. They never just shoot Bond. They never just hit Bond or anything like that. You know, they always wanted to talk to him. You know, create elaborate traps, but it became the trope of Bond, didn't it? It was kind of interesting and cool for me, really, to see this because, you know, if it was just like a white bad guy, you know, like Blofeld or anything like that, it would be the same thing. But that they were black, it just had a different significance for me personally watching that. I just thought that was amazing. Last thing I say before I open it up is I wanted to talk about the opening Now, I'm not really sure. Maybe anybody else could tell me, but you know how we always get the silhouette girls in the opening, when they do the theme song and everything. This particular opening, because it was a black themed film, it reminded me of the black velvet paintings of the 70s. I don't know how cool you were back then, Tony, or Dak, or whatever, but we had the black velvet paintings on the wall. So for any of you who know, it's like naked black women on the wall, but it was like kind of like velvet and kind of Art Deco. But the opening with the ladies felt like those paintings come to life. Did any of you feel that way when you saw the opening? Do you remember the black velvet painting, did that? Don't act like you younger than me, bro.
No. We didn't have anything like that, Chase. We just had pictures of Jesus Christ and on our walls.
Do you remember it, Amanda?
I do remember them, but I think I can't. But aren't most openings to Bonds have silhouetted paintings?
Yeah, no, they do. But these girls, one, they felt like they were naked. That's for one. But the other was because of the way they were shot, and maybe because they felt more like black women instead of like European models. It felt like a black velvet painting. Like if you could remember the opening, like some of them you could even see their faces because it's like their hair was on fire and all that other kind of stuff. And it really felt like a black velvet.
Fantasies with us here, Chase.
I'm just talking about the opening of the movie, bro. I figured, what's the point in trying to do this as a question? They felt more like you could see them a little bit more. You could definitely tell their ethnicity. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it felt like that shot there, the blue one down in the middle at the bottom. It really felt like, that one. It really felt like a black velvet painting is what I'm just trying to say. To me, anyway, it felt like a black velvet painting.
And the opening was the sort of San Monique, wasn't it? And
yeah. Well, that was one of the places. I mean, like there were 3 murders. It opened with 3 murders and everything like that, and one of them was there. Also, because I don't know the order of the films, when Bond opens up, in bed with this woman and stuff like that. What was different about this is that we always see Bond have sex at the end of a movie, sometimes in the middle and everything like that. But this felt like this is James Bond's house. He was sleeping with a Roman agent. That's why she was speaking Italian with him. And when M comes in, the reason why he's looking around is because if you didn't get it, the conversation was, so that, that adventure you just had, whatever the Italian Secret Service is, that they're missing their agent and everything. And so M. Night knows that, I know she's here about this woman here. Yeah. And everything like that. I just thought that was cool, but I didn't know if it was alluding to the previous movie that he wasn't in, but probably not. It probably was just showing that he had an adventure before this movie.
Yeah, I think it's sort of that's an aspect of his character, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And the double entendres and all of that. I mean,
but we haven't seen them but we haven't. What I'm trying to say is so it's kind of like continuation because the movies usually ended with him with the girl and everything. So this opens up, kind of like with the girl. But then I just thought that scene was pretty funny with the espresso machine, like when he makes the coffee and everything like that. He's like, is that all that it does? Anyway, it was really cool. And Moneypenny also seemed older compared to Moore. I mean, like where usually with Connery, she seemed more of like a girlfriend potential. But this Moneypenny with Moore felt that she was like older and stuff. I don't know if that felt like that with you guys.
Yeah, she did.
That's a sexist thing, isn't it? Because he's 45 and she wasn't older than 45. That's what he was in this film. But because but Jane Seymour was 22. But because we have this thing that he will be with a young woman as
Yeah.
opposed to a woman, a peer.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, but I mean, you didn't think that Moneypenny seemed older in that one scene she was in? Yeah, Margaret Mary, you felt she seemed older.
Oh, it's often that woman though, isn't it? It was that
Well,
woman for a long time.
there was several different Moneypennies, but I'm just trying to say is that there was always a cat and mouse between Bond and Moneypenny. But in this one, she looked more of a motherly like role kind of thing. I mean, I hear what you're saying that he's actually 45, but you know, maybe they were just trying to play him to be a bit younger. I don't know. That's how it felt for me, and stuff. Um,
I was
so
surprised how old she did look.
Moneypenny.
I was surprised how old she did look because I don't. It's not a film that I watch on a regular basis, but most of them have been young, except for the last one, which was one of their famous actresses, a British actress. Can't remember who it was.
In the last one, what do you mean with Moore or with Remington Steele?
I'll have a look for a picture of her.
Mm.
You mean with Daniel Craig?
Oh, Daniel Craig. That's they are. I mean, well, it's always the Bond girls were always about femme fatales and being young beauties, but it's just that Moneypenny was always seemed to be played older until they turned Moneypenny black in the Daniel Craig ones, and you know, like she seemed like a little bit younger, but you know, so basically, you know, like how was it for you guys? I mean, like looking at this, because some of you said this was the first one you looked at, or whatever. I mean, did it intrigue you to watch more Bond films or anything like that? Anybody?
I come from a generation where it's Daniel Craig, and Daniel Craig's got blonde hair, so seeing the original Bond with dark hair was a bit weird.
Yeah, he's always had dark hair, and that was one of the things that they wanted to do with Daniel Craig was they wanted to kind of like totally reboot Bond. So even with Daniel Craig's first Bond movie being Casino Royale, you know, that was the first Bond. I think that was the first Ian Fleming story and everything like that. So even though Sean Connery started with Dr. No, I think the first story was called Casino Royale. So like this was their way of going back, and so they figured, okay, let's make it more brutish, right, more ham-fisted, and make it blonde. You know, but I love Casino Royale. That was great.
The other thing that I noticed was it was your typical James Bond film because he'd had the drinks, he had the women, and he had the suave and everything. But I didn't see any of these cars. Usually, as like a.
That's a very good point. Yeah, because like I mean, like he's always been driven in the different places he went because he's not from these places, so he had to get into, you know, like strange cars. I mean, the only thing we got was a fantastic boat sequence where he's driving the boat himself, which was also a fantastic sequence.
Can I just interrupt there just for 1 second? It'd be worthwhile.
She's going again.
She's not. She's there.
You muted, Margaret Mary.
I was listening to you. I couldn't wait to see whatever it was that you were all laughing at. I was listening. I sent a message on chat to say that I'm listening, but I had my hands full.
Yeah, he just wanted your reaction to it because I said that you were watching, but he just wanted to see your reaction and everything too.
Well, no, that's the first time I saw it. Very nice. Can you have a look at the other ones?
But I was wondering whether you'd be upset about it or something.
No, good Lord, no.
I thought because I've put a gap in between your name there.
Yeah, I heard Amanda saying it. Never mind, quite contrary, Tony. That's my name, Margaret Mary. 2 capital M's, no gap.
No gap, any of it.
2 capital M's, no gap. All right. So Amanda, you had your hand up.
Just to finish up the Margaret Mary thing.
my God, is that what? Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah.
I really like that. Very clever.
All Chase was concerned about was his Superman kiss curl. He wasn't bothered that had spent an age putting him in space in a suit and superimposing reflections on it and making it spacey and soiling his suit and putting an extra planet in there.
Oh, I see the soil on the suit now there. All right.
Yeah, you bastard.
You look dead young on that photo.
Yeah, I did. I don't know what he
That's
did
what
to that.
oxygen therapy does. Zach, put the Live and Let Die poster up.
What's that? I know I'm interrupting what you're saying here, but just to get it out of the way while Margaret Mary was there.
No, I loved it. Thank you.
I'm glad you saw the humour in it. Which one is? I'm not sure which one it is. I'll put this. Let's just put that one up. That one.
Oh my God, that's brilliant!
Have you not seen it, MM?
No! Oh my God, that's fantastic!
You need to follow me on Facebook. I mean, it's been on my cover panel for like 3 days.
I've not had time to wipe my ass this week. That's absolutely ace. Can you send me? Is it on the feed? On our feed?
It's also emailed. I'll sort it out for you.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
See how suave Kieran looks, Margaret Mary.
I like
So
that.
handsome, isn't he?
Isn't he? Look at that.
I like how Uzak could be the fourth member of ZZ Top, the way you've trimmed your beard and everything there.
That's it. That's it. I'm in the Southern States mindset on there, aren't I?
That looks like.
I think it's quite at that, like our
Alter egos.
yeah, our alter egos. And I think with you and I, Amanda, I think that's about right. That you being your alter ego to be a tough girl. It's cool. Love it.
Funny.
There you go. Sorry to interrupt your proceedings there, Chase.
No worries. Amanda had her hand up and stuff.
Oh yeah. I suppose my one of my observations, and I didn't know if it was a sign of the times, was there wasn't really there wasn't Q. There wasn't that whole thing with the gadgets.
Oh yeah, there was. Moneypenny gave him the gadgets when she came in.
He didn't have much though, did he? He had a bit, but I think over time that kind of became more of a focus, wasn't it? This one to me was like it wasn't a difficult problem, but it was really about his character as well, and so over time, I think the gadgets have become more of a thing.
The gadgets took over, yeah.
Well, just different, really. But the gadgets, the cars.
Yeah, I agree about the gadgets. So I wasn't very pleased they didn't pull out some extraordinary weird gadget. It was just a phone and a bloody gas thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was quite low tech, really, in
Yeah.
relation to
The main gadget was the watch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the stunts. I mean, they were great, but they weren't particularly. They weren't over the top, were they, compared to some of the other films? And again, I wasn't sure if that was its age or what. But there wasn't Q. Q wasn't in it, and that whole all right Bond and and this will kill somebody at 25, all that sort of because they're really imaginative, I found, as it evolved.
Gadgets are characters in themselves within Bond films, aren't they? They're
Yeah.
like you know, the whatever car and all the stuff he has on there. It's a character in itself, and they didn't have the gadgets as a character. So, apart from the hilarious ending with that,
Yeah, I know.
that was absolutely hilarious. That was. Oh,
And
dear.
he
You're
was,
talking about the gas canister?
Yes, of course.
I mean,
Oh,
he was
hilarious.
suave, but they didn't, you know, again, as time went on, I mean, to the point of Daniel Craig, who's almost robot-like, isn't he, in his strength and in his agility, and whereas that wasn't, I don't think that was
tame
for me. It was
Well,
about the scenery and you know, that was the and he's
and his one-liners. Come on.
oh, his
Yeah.
one-liners were
Oh,
fun.
he had a lot of one-liners there.
Yeah, it wasn't just the one-liners. It was the looks. It was very much tongue-in-cheek. He'd sort of look to one side or raise
Roger Moore eyebrow.
Yeah, but I think he was toning it down for this first one because he did that in the Saints, and I think he was purposely trying to be Bond and not Templar, which is why I mentioned it, because he all of that stuff he just said, you know what, I'm gonna be me, and you know, for the rest of these films. But also too is what I thought was really cool and very subtle. Remember when he came in on the hang glider to go see Solitaire for the first time?
Yeah.
And, like, he just kind of like pulled off his like rippable pants, right? And then he took off his jacket and turned it around. It was to the reverse
I
side.
was just
So that way it
thinking of
was-
that.
Oh my God! I was like, oh, gee, you know, and it's so Bond. You know, it was just excellent. You know,
When he was like this
yeah.
on the hang glider and his hair never.
yeah.
There's a thing in Bond, though, isn't there? It's like with suits. So, you know, he'll be in the water in his wetsuit, and
Yeah, that's what I mean, like
in his wetsuit, and he's off with his wetsuit, and he's got his tux on and everything. That's
Yeah.
a thing in Bond. You've got to have some of that in every Bond.
Yeah.
It's just a wonderful part of the whole thing for me.
No. It was excellent. You know, and everything. You know, but so the things that
It was a far cry though for him from this, wasn't it?
well,
You ready?
yeah. So the thing was for
Oh
me was,
my God.
What's that? I can't see. No.
is that Roger Moore?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
What the hell?
Advertising cardigans for men.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that.
That is funny. Oh my God, who pulled that out?
I did.
Oh man, that is
It
funny.
says I'm not sure if it's him. I don't think.
And he even said Roger Moore was a knitting pattern model in the 50s.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not
but
him.
I'm not sure if that's him.
It says his name.
Oh, someone who looks like him. It's on
It says his
Instagram.
name. It was the 50s, so it would have been like 20 years previous or something.
Oh,
That is classic, Tony. Classic.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant find. That. Look
There
at
you
that.
go. You ready?
Yeah,
Here we go.
Tony's got more.
One more. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Boom.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's brilliant. Look at that.
I remember images like that.
Yep.
Oh man.
That's Roger Moore at his finest.
Oh, fantastic.
Wow.
That's where the money
So,
was, though, wasn't
You know
it?
what? When he was this knitting model, as they say, you know, did he ever think that he would become, you know, Roger Moore? I mean, James Bond. You know,
He was a model before he was an actor, you see.
Yeah, I mean. You
well,
can-
obviously,
Beautiful.
it's them.
And yeah,
But
that's
is
enough
it-
of that.
You know, speaking
Oh,
of that,
I
though,
like
it's like
them,
I didn't
Jonah.
even notice. Speaking of that, I didn't even notice his mole in those pictures, though, because he had one of those cheek moles. I didn't even notice his mole in the picture and stuff. What was I trying to say? All right, so obviously, like I said, there were things that were set up you know, that kind of like went nowhere in a way. And one of them was the scene in the bungalow with Whisper. So Whisper, first of all, is a great name, but it was also a great character, right? So when Whisper comes in to bring the champagne that Bond orders for his mysterious wife and everything else like that, you know, Bond just happens to be in the tub, right? You know, shaving, you know, like with, and I can't believe this was a proper thing because Dalton Trumbull even did that, you know, when he had the tray in the tub when he would type and stuff. So he's shaving in the tub, and then so first of all, somebody opens up a transom, and the snake comes into the transom, right? So you think, oh, Bond's gonna get it in the tub by the snake and everything, and then Whisper comes in with the champagne, right? So my question was, why did he do that? You know, so it's one to just introduce us to the fact that he talks as a Whisper, says, yeah, so you want this? Where do you want me to put it? But the champagne wasn't poisoned, right? Rosie comes in with the gun, yeah, and everything like that, and like he's not there to kill Bond. So if he's there to make sure that the snake got him, right? He's the one who interrupted the snake, right? So it was just like, but it's a cool character. So obviously, Guy Hamilton is the director, or whatever. So obviously, he's like, I just want to keep making these scenes with these guys. They're perfect. I love them. You know. Same thing with Julius Harris, who the guy with the robot arm. His character's name was Teehee. Like in Teehee, Teehee, right? You know, laughing Teehee. But and so what did he do? He smiled all the time. Right, but he had a robot arm and everything like that, and I just loved him. He was great. I mean, the final battle, the final fight, but the alligator farm. Because I'm like, why are they driving him all the way out to the alligator farm? I don't think you kill him. He even actually sleep on one of the guys' shoulders and stuff like that. You know, for the time frame that they took him from one place to the other. And then he talks to him and like how, yeah, you know, like.
There's a simple answer to that, and my mother always used to say to it, if they killed him now, that'd be the end of the movie.
Well, you know what, Tony, I get you, bruv. You know, I know it's kind of like, I think Austin Powers did that too, where it's like, I'm going to walk away now. Here's the death trap, and I'm going to walk away.
Well, I mean, it was very much a tongue-in-cheek movie, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it wasn't serious at all. It's a family film, really, wasn't it? The broadest audience possible. What I found really fascinating about it, because it's a long time since I've seen it, was how many black characters there are in it.
Well, that's what I mean. It was full of them.
But I mean, and there was some sort of stereotypical black characters, but there was some who were not. So the FBI guy. The black guy, he was a goodie, and you know, so in some respects it was a bit ahead of its time. The one thing that made me sort of think, gosh, I've not heard that for a long time, was about 3 or 4 times throughout it, the black guy was referred to James Bond as the honky.
What did they say? Like hunky in Harlem or Whitey on the Way or something like that?
He used the term honky about 3 or 4 times.
Oh.
I thought, I've not heard that this century.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah, there was some of the language. What I noticed about the language as well is they alluded to the phrase motherfucker.
Yeah, but then he said mother, and then they cut away from it. He said
mother of pearl.
Like when he was like,
great line.
Yeah, like when he was yelling at the guys to go get him and stuff. But so the 2 other things I wanted to talk about one was the cop, Pepper, G.W. Pepper, right, the Louisiana cop. He was trying to. I got myself some black Russians.
Yeah.
You know, and then when so after he finally, you know, like Bob finally shows up and Leiter's already, you know, worked it out with the cops and everything. But then he shows up and he goes, "There you are! What are you, some kind of doomsday machine?"
And it's almost if he'd just come out of the dentist, because
No, but yeah, because he had the
Chewing tobacco.
in his mouth.
Chewing tobacco.
but he came out. It was like he was like Smokey and the Bandit. You know, it was like you know what I mean. It was like it was doing Smokey and the Bandit or something. But that, I mean, because that was just, it wasn't like racism, but it was like Louisiana, right? But it was really cool, you know, because the way he had to go after that guy, who I didn't know his name, the Afro guy, and everything, and stuff. But I thought that was really cool. But that guy, he knew everything. He knew where his brother was, who had the fastest boat. So I thought, that just came out of nowhere. How does he know that? You know, and everything. But the last thing I wanted to say was in that final sequence, and Zach, you could pull it up. I think, even though we saw it in Star Trek a lot, right? I think this is where the red shirt trope came from, right? So like when he goes down into the cave, it's a shark pit where Yaphet Kotto is, all of the black guys had red shirts.
Yeah. And the same.
What?
Blue trousers and red shirts.
Yeah, but red shirts was always the thing. Like it's like if you the guy who's going to get killed in the Star Trek episode is going to be was the red shirt, and it's like, oh, well, if you're the black guy in the movie, you're going to have the red shirt and stuff. So I think this is where it comes from. Is this particular thing is like in that final sequence where he meets up with Yaphet. You know, like you had it before, but it was strange that all of his men had red shirts. You know what I mean? I just thought that was mad funny and stuff. But I think so that was the thing about that. But even though he killed Yaphet, it seemed like there was this thing where Bond didn't really kill anybody, didn't really fight anybody. Like as a white guy fighting black people, right? Because they were trying to be politically correct in some way. I don't know. But, you know, I don't know if any of you noticed that. You know, usually, like, you know, Bond would, like, you know, blow people up, shoot them, and do all these kind of things. But they didn't attack him, and he didn't attack them. Do you know what I mean? But he had to.
There was the one sword thing, wasn't there?
Well, yeah. The sword fight with Baron Samandi and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that was there. Even when he shot him in the head, and then it felt like it was a real person, and then it was like they revealed that it was a robot and stuff. And that was a great outfit he was wearing, that black suit with the brown. That became an iconic move because I think Steve McQueen had a thing like that in Bullet and everything. So
I'll find that image for you.
Yeah, but I mean, I think though it's like. Well, Yaphet Kotto is like, you know, like at least they had a fight, you know, so they had a stunt fight and everything, and they ended up in the water and he put the gas canister in his mouth. But I like how he shot Whisper on the couch and it blew up and everything down because it was like, hey, why are you pointing that gun at me? That was kind of funny, but and Zach already showed us the picture. I mean, it was a fake balloon, but you know that was a weird ending for our villain, and to blow him up with a gas canister. You know, because Bond put it in his mouth as well. So I don't know, did he make him swallow it when he put it in his mouth, or you know, and everything? You think he made him swallow it? That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so those were my notes on this. And while Zach is looking for that picture, anybody have any final thoughts on it? I mean, obviously everybody enjoyed it and stuff, right?
Yeah.
You know,
I'll stop looking for it now, but I'd like to make a comment on the blackness of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was an important part of the film, and it did show a few aspects of blackness to a wider public, and not just your stereotypical one. But the fact that it was set in New Orleans, I think justified the fact that there was so many black characters in it.
Well, and New York too, and this fictional island as well. Harlem, yeah, it was in Harlem as well. That's where he went to first before he went to New Orleans.
Okay.
But it's the same thing, like you just said. He went to an area that, oh, wait a minute. And it's great. It was like an Englishman in Harlem. This really is weird. So he stuck out like very much of a sore thumb.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but I don't, because it was so sort of tongue in cheek at times. Well, that had nothing to do with what I was going to say, actually. But yeah, I can imagine for a black person living in America seeing a classic white hero that's always been a white hero having been surrounded by black characters. I can imagine it being quite groundbreaking, and the fact that it was it's sort of like a light-hearted Bond, I think that helped the blackness of the movie to a non-black audience, and you know, and so for that I thought it was great alone. Oh, and also, yeah, there is scenes where you're talking about him with these women, but it didn't skirt away from having that black white in bed thing there, which I thought great, but they didn't overblow it or anything like that. So I thought that was actually all right, you know, sort of thing.
No, you're right, because it's 70, like you said, it's 73. So
Yeah.
you know that was very I should say
Progressive time.
Yeah. For him and Gloria Hendry, you know, even just lying in the patch of grass, you know what I mean, doing that. I mean, you know, that was very different for his time, so, or ahead of his time in that way, because you know you had like Captain Kirk doing it.
Yeah, exactly. That was a classic thing, wasn't it? That happened in the Star Trek thing with and you know, Uhuru, as we know, is freedom and stuff like that. It was fantastic. Yeah. So I think it's worth noting that, you know, it might not have been highlighted as such, but it happened, and all power to it in that respect.
Yeah. No, it was really good. It was really good. So any other thoughts, Amanda? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't not observe the sexism in the genre, and so you've still got. I mean, and I think because of the genre of you know, the thing of James Bond, even over the years, they've still struggled, I think, with that one. But here, you know, it's you know, it's still going strong, that women, strong women, you know, Rosie was a CIA agent, but within seconds is fallen in under his charm. And I mean,
that's Bond,
as opposed to up for it as well, you know. So that's that it's not the fact that you would have the woman having sex or anything. It's the doe-eyed kind of thing, and you know, that he's the sort of protector, and that, you know, she's a CIA agent, but then she's scared of a snake, and that, oh, you know, I'll save you. So you've still got that, and you know, we're in the 70s. We're starting. You know, the women's liberation movement is around. Jane Seymour's the suggestion is that her purity or her
virginity,
is power. And once she's lost that, you know, and again, you saw the thing of the Mr. Big, you know, have you had her? And you know, so that whole kind of piece, and she's she's kind of like a pawn in it. You didn't get a sense that they were active participants in
Well,
it.
they were-
That's the point.
So it's there. I mean, it was there for years,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
No, but it's important that you bring it up because how old did you say she was? Like 20 or something?
at the time.
22 as an actress, she was. Yeah,
Right. Did they actually kiss or anything?
yeah, they had
I
sex.
don't know if they actually. No, well, it was suggested they had sex.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know
it
if we
was-
actually
was
seen
not
it.
Suggested. It was very. It was clear.
Well, no, I meant as a story, it was clear, but we didn't see them having, you know, like
You don't
sex
see
with
him
them.
having sex with anybody.
No, okay, yeah. But my point was, I was just wondering because I didn't realize it when you said it that he was 45 and stuff like that, the age difference of them. But it was an interesting point to be made because Sean Connery was always just like, yes, boom, 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 snatching up the women and, you know, having sex like that, right? And a lot of people kind of like said, oh, well, wait a minute, this is a little bit too much, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? Depending on how you thought. But he literally tricked her, and we saw him trick her into losing her virginity, right? You know, and then so when she had that conversation with him in bed, she's like, I can't, I did this to her. And he said, well, he felt like he came clean. Well, actually, I kind of like tricked you in that. He did it like a James T. Kirk kind of thing where I don't like to lose, so I cheated, right?
They didn't say that. It was one of his one-liners.
No, I know, but it was implied that I tricked you, right? And then she said, it doesn't matter. I still lost it, right? So she still lost her power because she still, lost it and everything like that. So it was an awkward scene, actually, to be honest with you. It was kind of awkward. Looking at it from today's mindset, it was kind of awkward because, it's kind of like that kind of a scenario. But back then, it was okay. He's James Bond, right?
That's the point. That's the point that his suaveness, his geniality, sort of it. Well, that's James Bond, But and whilst that might be the case, that's still part of patriarchy and. The sugar daddy, that's the kind of thing. And sometimes they have, they play about with that, don't they? And you get a sense of who's got more of just a plaything, and then who do they have feelings, and then when Her Majesty's Secret Service, when he married, and that was, and then the killer. Because it's not part of the. And then the was it Timothy Dalton where it was at the height of HIV and they were really trying to, I suppose, take account of this, and I
tone
think
it down.
He had one relationship, and it was a Russian spy, and it was seen as a sort of an equal. Thing, and I think that was.
She was that strong and powerful as he was.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was specifically about the age. It was that he manipulated her. It was not seen as and a little bit with Rosie. I can see that it's like great. He had sex with the white woman and the black woman. That would have been, that would have been really stark had he not. But it was still the same thing with the women.
Yeah.
What did you think of the lingering shot afterwards of Jane Seymour, where she does that little smile that she wants more?
Yeah.
Well, that was a way of saying that it was okay. I mean, at first she's saying, "You took my virginity. I don't know what to do with myself," and then she comes to the fact that can we do it again? So that must mean, oh yeah, of course we can. So if I did take it from you, but it's okay with you and it's okay with me. They also played it up that I'm not just gonna do a one and done here. I'm gonna take you out of here and we're gonna be together, which is why it ends with them going off together, as opposed to she's just another conquest.
Well,
she's not going to be in the next movie.
They often do with the lead character,
Yeah.
with the lead woman. And absolutely not suggesting that it's an issue for the women to be having sex, you know, because actually, why wouldn't they? It's just that thing that it's often seen as he's the James Bond, you know, they fall into his arms as opposed
Great
to,
shot.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just an observation, really.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's a good, I think it's a good point to be made. I mean, if we're talking about James Bond as a character and stuff, I mean, you can't overlook the sexuality of the film, you know, or the politics of the sexism in the film. So, I mean, I'm glad you brought it up. I think it's important. All right, so that brings us to our break. You know, take your coffee, tea, whatever, and everything, and then it's quiz time.
Oh, just before I go, there was another female character in it as well.
Yeah.
I loved her and stuff like that. I won't say anymore. All right, it's break time. All right, and we're back in time for the quiz. Zach's theme song. It was close, no cigar, but it was really good. All right, is Margaret Mary in the room? Anybody know?
I think she's had to go and.
Oh, she had to go? Okay, so all right, let me take her off for the list here.
She may be back.
Okay.
Daniel Craig.
She went looking for Daniel Craig.
I meant to ask, have we got a league table? Have we got the running total of this?
No, you're miles out in front of me.
I know I am, but by how many?
I'm not into the statistics, Amanda, but I think you'd run the leaderboard. Tony's really nipping at your heels, though.
Well then, bring it on.
Okay, well, let's see how you do since everybody's watched the film.
Oh, you didn't hear that, did you?
No.
Oh, before you start then, Chase, just to...
I heard something.
Just to set it off.
Pearl and Dean, love it. I love it. To live and let die. Quiz. Okay, first 5 questions for those who've watched the film. So, question number 1. Name the restaurant when the New Orleans band shows up. So the restaurant that the spy looks at across the street. Name the restaurant. Okay. Question number 2. Now listen carefully. Who sings the opening song? Who sings the opening song? Good job. Okay, question number 3. When we first go into Karanga's office, and he plays the reel-to-reel of his voice, giving a really laborious speech for Leiter and his people to hear, he escapes his office by pulling out a bookcase and revealing something behind it. What is behind Karanga's bookcase? Okay, give you a lot to work with there. Question number 4. When Bond first meets Solitaire, and he asked her, "Is there a card there for me?" What card does she pull that represents Bond? Not anything else. So he says, "For me, what represents me?" Yes? I'm being very clear here so you don't tell me I wasn't clear enough for you. What card represents Bond? And then finally, question number 5. When Bond talks to Rosie, he says that he pulled the Queen of Cups card, and he tells her what it means. What does the Queen of Cups card mean when he's talking to Rosie? Yes? He tells her what it means. So in Bond's words. Right? So those are our first 5. Let's see. Question number 1. What is the name of the place in New Orleans when the funeral band first shows up that the, let's call him a spy, sees across the street? What is the name of the place? It's a restaurant. Okay, Amanda's hand went first.
Filet of Soul.
Okay. Zach, your hand went up again.
Yeah, Filet of Soul.
Tony,
That one.
you didn't get that one?
No.
Who didn't get that one? Kieran?
Aaron, yeah.
Tony?
Yeah, Fillet of Soul.
It is the Filet of Soul. I could tell you how you spell it, but it's S-O-U-L. Funny enough, the Filet of Soul is also in Harlem. So it must be a chain of restaurants that Kalanga owns. Number 2. Who sings the opening song to Live and Let Die?
Was this a trick question?
It could be.
It
It
is.
depends on how you answer it.
Oh,
Zach, that means give us an answer.
oh, you bugger. Should I go with the obvious one?
Go ahead, man. What's the
No,
obvious one for you?
no, I'm changing my answer.
You're changing it.
Oh, you bugger. Linda McCartney.
Okay. All right. And Kieran?
No, we didn't get that one either.
Amanda?
I got Paul and Linda McCartney with Wings.
Oh.
Tony?
I picked Shirley Bassey. I didn't think of it.
Okay. I'm going to give it to Amanda
Oh, you.
because it's Paul McCartney.
That was what I wrote down as well. I thought
But
I phrased
the
it.
group, he's a part of Wings with Linda McCartney. Yeah. But he sings. I said, who sings? the
I
song?
know.
And it's him. Right?
That's
So
right.
Amanda,
Oh,
yeah, I give it to you.
going, You know you did, you know you did.
I know, Amanda. That's why I gave it to you.
Oh, no,
See, most people wouldn't. My point is, most people would have said Wings.
I wouldn't have given it to Amanda because she said everything there.
But that's how they.
That's why she got the answers.
That's how they spoke about him. They used to say Paul McCartney with Wings, and then it was only.
But you also said Linda McCartney.
No, but she sings the choruses, which Amanda's saying. So
And you look, I looked at the.
No, I'm not, no.
And it said that. It did.
You win too often. I'm trying to claw a point back here.
you should have just kept your first answer, Zach. I mean, you know, when you went for Wings, you should have went for Paul McCartney, bro.
Bloody McCartney.
And so you changed your answer, man.
Paul McCartney, Wings, and Linda McCartney. So she gave you 3 possible answers there instead
They
of
all
one
said
answer.
they didn't sing it. He didn't say which one person. He said who sings.
He did. He said one person who's specific.
And she said Paul McCartney and Linda McCartney.
And
Said
Wings.
who sings. The opening.
But you only said Wings. You didn't say Paul McCartney, though, Zach. That's why I didn't give it to you.
I said Linda McCartney. I got.
Oh, you said well, but she only sings the chorus. She don't sing the song.
I know I got it wrong, but
Okay.
I think equally Amanda got it wrong.
No, she got it right. You challenged, but she got it right. I know you want to. Yeah, okay. You tried. All right. So, number 3. What is behind Karanga's bookcase? Who wants it?
I put another room.
Yeah, I've got a room to a lift and a way out.
Wait a minute, Tony. What did you say?
A room that had a lift in it and a way out of there.
Karen?
Car park.
All right. Amanda?
Lift.
Now, this is kind of complicated. The answer is lift. But Tony said, what did you say? You said the lift, didn't you, Tony? You did.
Room with the lift in
You
it.
said a room with a lift, but it actually is just a lift. It's not a room with a lift, it's just a lift. But he did say lift, and that is behind the bookcase.
A lift is a room. I'm trying. A lift is a room.
A lift is a room?
I'm trying.
No, I'm just trying to say I'm giving it to Tony. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying it. I'm
Give
giving
it to me then, because I said lift as well.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. I just said a room.
You didn't. All right, so that's Amanda and Tony with the lift scenario. Yeah, so with the lift. That was pretty cool, man. It was like a back cave thing. There's a lot of cool things in this that these guys shouldn't have. All right, so it's kind of like the Egyptians building the pyramids. This movie. Okay, so let's see what you get here. Number 4. What card represents Bond? Now, I said when he first meets Solitaire, he asked her, "You got a card there for me?" What card represents Bond? Who wants it? Kieran.
The Fool.
Amanda.
The Lover.
Tony.
The Joker.
Zach.
Lover.
Kieran is right. It's the Fool.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah.
I said represents Bond. I know she pulls out the Lover's card,
And
but that wasn't to represent Bond. He asked for a card, and she gave him the card, and it was the Fool. All right. Number 5. What does the Queen of Cups mean, according to Roger Moore, when he's talking to Rosie? Karen.
Betrayal of a woman.
Okay. Who else got? Zach?
No, but that sounds good to me. But I didn't get anything.
Okay. Tony?
Nothing.
Amanda?
Devious and betrayal and treacherous. Something like
Why you you're upsetting Zach here. You're upsetting Zach. Yeah. No. Yeah. All right, you have to pick one. He's right. You're gonna have to pick.
Yes.
I'm not gonna give that to you. It's Deceitful Woman.
Deceitful one. You began with D.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give that to you, Karen. So Bond knows that she's a double agent because somebody flipped him. We don't know the Queen of Cups card and everything. And he's been watching her ever since. So, Georgie Doors, what are the scores? Give me a drum roll, Zach.
Kadunk Tish.
Kadunk Tish. Thanks. All right. So, at the end of 5. All right. Not surprising. Amanda's ahead at 3. But for the first time, both Tony and Kieran are tied with 2. 1 point behind Amanda.
Oh.
And then Zach trails them at 1. So,
That's not surprising.
Kieran, come on, boy. Let's bring it up. Take Pappy out. All right. So, we're going for the next round. Number 6.
Go on, Jace.
How many times? Now, this is very important. How many times did Solitaire draw the Lover's card? How many times did Solitaire draw the Lover's card throughout the movie?
Oh, throughout the movie.
Yeah, throughout the movie.
Oh, blinking! There's a question.
Well, it's important. It was an important thing for her losing herself, right? So how many times did she draw the lover's card?
It's a good question, huh?
Thanks. All right, number 7. What is lesson number? What the hell was that?
Sorry.
No worries. What is lesson number 4? So she obviously loves lesson number 2. But what is lesson number 4? Number 8. Give us the name of the flying student. At the airport. Zach's favorite woman. Tell us what her name is.
Can't remember.
And stuff. She was a classic character though. Number 9. How did Teehee, the bodyguard with the robot arm, lose his arm?
Originally.
Yeah, well, he tells Bond the story.
Yeah. All right.
How did Teehee lose his arm? And number 10. What could you do on a train for 16 hours? But what's the first thing? What's the first thing that we see them doing when we cut to them on the train? So that way you don't say, "Yeah, Jake, that was a pretty difficult question." All right. Okay, so what you do is let's go to the scores. We're gonna do. Thank you, Zach. I like that. All right, number 6. How many times did Solitaire draw the lover's card? I'm gonna go to you first, Zach. See if you can catch up.
5.
Okay, Kieran.
2.
2. Tony
2.
and Amanda.
3.
The answer is 3. Well done, Amanda. When she first meets Bond, then when she draws it again, when she told it where's Bond, and then when Bond tricks her, that's the 3rd time she drew the card, even though he stacked the deck with lover's cards, right? That's not the point. She drew the card the 3rd and final time, and she lost herself. All right, number 7. What is lesson number 4, Zach?
Oh, I don't know. Do it again. I thought.
Okay, Kieran,
Sex.
Tony,
Not a clue.
Amanda.
Something to do with her power, I think. I don't know.
No, all of you got it wrong. It is lesson number 4. Follow the scarecrows.
All right.
So ever since they had sex, every time we cut to them, he'll be like lesson number 3, like when they were on the boat. And then it'll be like lesson number 4 when they got onto the island. So he was just, everything was a teaching moment for Bond. And everything. Don't know why. So, question number 8. What is the name of our flying student at the airport? This is a great attack scene on Bond and stuff. Of course, they wanted to make him skydive out of a plane. So what is the name of that flying student? Because he said it over and over again. Anyone? Kieran.
Bell.
Okay, Zach?
I don't know. I missed it altogether.
Tony?
No.
Amanda?
Mrs. Beaker or something like that.
Okay. So the flying school was the Bleecker flying school. But she was Mrs. Bell, which means Karen had got it.
Oh, no, Karen.
Which means that Karen has passed Pappy. All right? And everything like that. Still chasing Amanda. Everybody's chasing Amanda.
It's
2 more
not
questions.
Mommy.
Yeah, everybody, it's still your dog to win this race, people. You still got 2 more chances to catch her. Right? She's not as good as she usually is. And okay, I'll give you the scores. At this point, we're at 2, 3, and 1. So, Georgie Doyle's with the scores. Amanda at 4, Tony at 2, Kieran at 3, and Zach at 1. 2 more questions. Dun, 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 dun. Number 9. How did Teehee, the bodyguard, bald man, lose his arm? So what we'll do is we'll go to Zach first.
I don't know how he originally lost his arm, but I've just made it up saying feeding a crocodile.
Okay. Then we'll go to Tony.
To a crocodile.
Kieran.
Alligator.
Amanda.
It's alligators down there, isn't it?
Amanda.
Yep, feeding a alligator.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
I didn't know it was a crocodile, but I
First of all, he explained what the difference is between an alligator and a crocodile, right? And everything like that. But I'm not going to use that as semantics for you guys. You all got the answer correct. All right. All right. Let's see where we are. Either way is Kieran, you're in second place. It's the last question.
You get it wrong here, Amanda.
What could you do?
Come on.
You know, I feel the love.
Yeah, right? You're like, what's all this hate? What's all this hate? All right. So, what could you do on a train for 16 hours? So, what's the first thing we see them do? So, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Kieran first.
Playing cards.
Okay, we're going to go to Zach.
Playing cards.
Tony.
Raising his eyebrows. I mean, playing gin rummy.
Amanda.
I got gin rummy too.
Oh.
So, everybody has got that right.
Ooh.
Oh, God.
Kieran.
Yeah, so Amanda wins at 6. Kieran is right behind her at 5. Tony's behind Kieran at 4. And Zach is at 3. And everything. So, well done, Amanda, and everything.
Thank you.
No point in I mean, even though we, don't need a tiebreaker question, I will still ask it, as I always do. It's always a numbers question. So all you need is the closest number, right? So when Karanga tests whether or not Solitaire still has her power of seeing the future, he takes Bond's watch, looks at the back of it, and asks her, what is the registration number? It's a 4-digit number.
Wow.
So who comes closest to it, to a 4-digit number? Okay.
Wow.
Right? So, anybody got it? Who's first?
3524. Oh, sorry.
Is that the number you want, that 2524?
3524.
Oh, 3524.
Random.
Yeah, nothing. Kieran.
For some reason, I had a letter in this, N903.
Okay, Tony.
3362.
Amanda.
6423.
It would be good to know that Amanda does not have the answer right.
or come anywhere close to it. Neither does Kieran. So it's a dog race between Zach and Tony.
Oh.
So Zach has given us 3524. Tony has given us 3362. Right? They both went over the number, but the closest one, right? Because the number is 3266. So the closest one is Tony. Tony is the closest one to that answer. So he would have won that toy breaker and everything. Well done, everyone. That was pretty cool. Kieran, well done to Kieran for chasing that dog, Amanda, down that racetrack. I don't know what happened to you, Tony. You know, you usually watching movies. You had your lowest score ever. If we would do the statistics, we would be like, you're faking it. You're like, you know what I mean? What happened to you there, bud?
I don't think I paid attention enough. I just enjoyed the film.
Yeah, I know. If I was the mafia, though, I'd come and break your legs.